Cannot wait to get going for this one. Gareth Potts against Jack Whelan, and to take you through it, Simon Webb and the Magician, Chris Melling.
Jack Whelan to break.
We certainly are, and it will be Jack Whelan to get us underway. Two fantastic players, two guys that know how to break big as well. This should be a fascinating match, Chris. Really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, match of definitely the best match today, and possibly of the first round.
Certainly the one I was looking forward to the most when the draw came out, and I gave Jack Whelan the build-up with his break, and he comes up dry with the first one. And the break is going to be a big element today, I think, in this match. Which player can get the most chances?
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to come down to, is the break. Both players, great potters. Obviously, Gareth has won a lot more title-wise, but Jack's a brilliant player.
Central call.
So that will be Gareth Potts with the first chance. And slightly awkward first glance, doesn't have a great first ball. Can take the yellow across the bottom cushion, but can't do a huge amount with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Gareth kind of just lay up here. And I don't think there's any advantage in potting the yellow.
That's exactly what he's done. No thought to potting that ball at all. Just turn the table back over to Jack Whelan. Purposely playing it into the jaws so it spits up the table.
Yeah, now Jack's in a little bit of bother. We may see Jack clip off the yellow on the left-hand side and bring the cue ball roughly back where it is now.
Extension call.
Can he get the red through the gap at the top left-hand side of the table?
I'll be surprised if he can, because the only reason I say that, it looks like the gap's there, but Gareth didn't move the cue ball and he would have known that.
Yeah, and that's a poor shot there from Jack. Gareth's got a great opportunity here now to pot the red, and he's only really got one red that's tied up.
Red ball's in play.
He's going to try and attack it as quickly as he can. Might be able to do it straight away.
Yeah, he really wants to pot the red in the centre and cannon the yellow. He doesn't want to hit the red. That's perfect.
Yeah, very delicate. Very nicely played.
And also, while nudging the yellow away, he's developed the pocket for the red that's in the middle of the table next to the yellow. That will now go in the bottom left-hand corner.
Horrible little touchy shots those when you're really close to them, but when you're not doing a huge amount with the cue ball, not too bad for Gareth. Hampered cueing once again. Just about drifts the cue ball far enough and in really good shape to get this first frame on the board.
Yeah, and playing this red now, he can actually put the cue ball in a position where he's going to play for both reds. He'd like to be on the one to the left, into the bottom left-hand corner. Not quite perfect, but he'll take it. Just got to mind his work. Problem you get with these, Simon, is that you concentrate that much on position, you sometimes miss the pot. And that's exactly what's happened. Oh, he's dropped.
How has that dropped? That's incredible. That really is. You can see Sean Story in the background pulling a face there as that one wiped its feet and dropped in. No reaction from Gareth. I think he thought that was in all the way, but just about. Still not perfect. Hampered cueing.
that one wasn't clean either. This'll be killing Jack.
Yeah, that was straight towards Jack as well. And Gareth Potts does manage to get that first frame on the board. Okay, wiped his feet, but an excellent little developing shot. And he is up and running 1-0 in this race to 7. 40-minute match as well. 30-second shot clock. We'll take a quick look at Gareth's profile. Ranked 4 after winning the 7th Pro Series event. It was great to see him return to the game after 7 years away. He won his four Worlds titles and then walked away from the game to focus on Chinese 8-ball. It's great to have him back in the game and already up to 4th in the rankings. Having a nice little battle with you, Chris, in the rankings. I think you're 4th and 5th, or you 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, we've had a few
next to
battles
each
over
other.
the years.
Second frame. Gareth Potts break.
But I do know that Gareth's
Leaving
having
one
problems
frame
with his back. Could see there in the pitch he was stretching in the chair.
I get to see Gareth's first break. We've been breaking very, very big and seeing some dramatic shots with his cue bending in all sorts of ways. And there you go again. You can see it on the main camera. It's incredible.
Yeah, just look at them. All the yellows together. Cue bending like crazy. I'm surprised it never snaps.
It's incredible, isn't it? It really is. Excellent break though. So just having a good look at this red and yellow that are together by the left centre pocket.
Extension call.
Yeah, it must be tight because he'd normally get down straight away and pot that if it was easy. He's probably frightened about touching the red or the yellow not dropping in off the jaw.
Yellow balls in play.
Yeah, you have to play the colour set you're going for, so you couldn't play the red to pot the yellow. So he's
Yeah,
done
the
that
reason
nicely.
Sorry, Simon. The reason he imparted a lot of left-hand spin was to transfer the spin onto the opposite ball.
Yeah, just a little bit worried about it hitting the thick jaw and staying up. Really nicely executed. You can see him pointing his cue there, trying to work out the path of the cue ball when it cannons the red.
Nicely played there from Gareth, cannoning the red to open the yellow into the corner.
Yeah, another very precise cannon. Really working out the exact point of the red he was hitting to make sure he gets the position on the next ball he wants, which he's managed to do so nicely enough. It was never going to be a perfect last ball for the 8-ball. He'd be happy enough. He just leaves himself enough angle to get onto it.
Yeah, he really wants to leave an half-ball angle on his last yellow. Probably see him spin it in with left-hand side and should get on the 8-ball. Doesn't want to be straight. And that's not ideal.
Almost got a little bit too much.
Yeah, I think I'd have left the cue ball high rather than low.
I was certainly expecting him to go that way. He needs to get into this one nicely. As long as he's not hampered, it's okay. I think he can get to the centre of the cue ball.
Yeah, he's one of them players, is Gareth. He gets into the cue ball so well with little effort.
Brilliant start from Gareth Potts. Another finish, or a brilliant finish this time. Excellent break and mops them up. So punishes the safety error from Jack Whelan. And you mentioned it, he's just stretching out his back a little bit. The that he was wearing a heat pack yesterday. I'm not entirely sure what the issue is, but on the table it's all going to plan though. Take a quick look at Jack Whelan's profile. A new professional for 2022. And he comes in with a former world title and a world doubles title as well, but he's had a very good 2021. Won 2 World Rules Pool Tours, twice on the same weekend in a very high class field. So he's a player that's won the biggest titles and in good form. So very much a tough matchup for both these players for a first round.
Yeah, and Jack normally has a massive break.
He does it in a different way to Gareth, though. He keeps himself very much still on the shot and just lets his natural cue power do the power here. Watch the difference here. He's not going to jump up where Gareth does. But he has come up dry for the second time, so his break isn't working yet. Although you have to say he's hit that one well enough. He deserved to make a ball there.
Yeah, I mean, he's not hitting the break bad. He's hitting them great. He's controlled the cue ball well. I mean, look at, there's 10 balls past the centre pocket.
Yellow balls in play.
So it's another good chance for Gareth. This is, from the 3 chances he had, is arguably the easiest of the 3.
Yeah, he's going to get rid of all these yellows at the top end of the table, then leave the one over the middle to second to last, because that connects with the yellow next to the 8 ball.
I think on his previous shot he'd like to have seen both of the yellows drop in. It did start to track towards the pocket. It's not a problem that it hasn't. It would have just made life a fraction easier for him. It's still comfortable enough.
Yeah, he's going to just screw back through the middle of the reds. Nicely played, and that's absolutely perfect. Looks in good form, Simon.
He looks in very good form. It certainly took him a tournament or 2 to really settle down, getting back into the game, but once he got that first title on the board, it's the Gareth we've known for years, in full flow. 3 chances, 3 finishes, 3-0 ahead. Really taking it to Jack Whelan, who's going to need to find his break and need to find a chance first of any, before anything else. Plenty to think about for Jack Whelan. He'd have been really looking forward to making his debut with Ultimate Pool, and he would have wanted a nice early chance to get going. That hasn't happened. And he's going to have to sit there and wait, because it is going to be Gareth Potts to break next as well. And with his first break in the match, he did make a ball and make the clearance.
Yeah, he's not done anything wrong, so he can't be too disappointed in himself.
It's one of the toughest things in the game, isn't it? The fact that it's so severe, sometimes you can't do anything and the game just gets taken away from you.
Yeah, you can virtually guarantee now that Gareth will break and probably pot 2 or 3 balls and they'll come out really nice. You can just see the way the match is going.
Yeah. Another opportunity to see the different style of Gareth's break and see how much he makes the cue bend. Didn't quite catch that one as clean as his first one though. And Jack Whelan will get his first opportunity in the match. A dry break from Gareth this time.
The old commentator's curse.
Yeah, won't thank you for that one. But look at that cue. He knew pretty much straight away that he didn't quite catch it as clean as he would have liked.
Yeah, he came across the front ball. Obviously the white track towards the top right hand side of the table.
So a really good chance here for Jack Whelan, but this is where the pressure that your opponent puts on you is scoreboard pressure, especially in a short race to 7. You know, Gareth already going 3-0 up. It's really putting pressure on Jack Whelan to make this finish and get himself into the match. Do you really feel that as a player out there, that if you get your first opportunity at 3-0, the difference between that and 0-0?
Yeah, and he can't do much about it, you know, if you're not getting to the table. But Jack knows deep down that the same thing can happen to Gareth. The only thing that I think will affect Jack is cue ball control on this new table, new cloth. He's not really had a lot of experience on it before.
Really wants to be on the left of the two yellows together. For a second he didn't think he was going to get there, but I think he's just about reached.
He'll be delighted with that. He's played that absolutely perfect. Screw back into the red.
That was such a key positional shot to land perfectly on that previous ball, because the rest of it all joins up nicely.
And this will settle Jack down. His first opportunity, and he's going to clear the table.
Absolutely brilliant. We give the match a build-up. Fancy both players to play well, but they absolutely have. Both players now up and running. 4 very good finishes. 3-1 though to Gareth Potts, but it is Jack Whelan to break, and I have to say he hit his first 2 breaks really, really well, but came up dry. He needs his break to turn up now.
Yeah, this is a massive frame. 4-1 or 3-2. You feel if Gareth wins this frame, then he may go on to win the match. But 3-2, it's anybody's.
Yeah, and I don't think Jack will be thinking about doing anything different with his break. Just, you have to believe in the fact that if you keep hitting them as well as he has, it will turn around. He'll make a ball or two and give himself the opportunity. Oh, he's made a ball, but he's made the wrong one. The cue ball straight into the top corner.
Ball in hand behind the break line.
That was a loose one from Jack Whelan.
Yeah, that's a bad break there. For the cue ball to go straight in off without touching another ball. That's a bad break from Jack.
Looks like Gareth is eyeing up these reds. Cue one hand anywhere behind the break line, so it looks like he's trying to put the cue ball on the red on the left-hand side.
Extension called.
Yeah, and also the red that's on the right side cushion, that may go in off the yellow in the centre pocket.
Red ball's in play.
Yeah, you can see that from the overhead.
I think he's a little bit straight on this one. Needed a little angle. Well, he's deciding to take the other red, so he must be straight.
A reroute for Gareth Potts.
Yeah, he's just got to be a bit careful here, because he's running out of options and he needs to get rid of them 2 reds at the top end of the table sooner rather than later.
So plays for the one on the right-hand side cushion.
Just see where he's pointing there with his cue. That's where he wants the cue ball. Leave a perfect angle to come down the table for his last red. And that's perfect.
Can't imagine he's going to look to do anything more than just hit the gap here.
Yeah, well, the key with this shot is to under-hit the shot rather than over-hit it. If you over-hit it, you may snooker yourself.
He's gone the other way. He's gone to come right down the bottom, and that's perfect.
He's played that as good as you could possibly play it.
I thought he might just leave the gap and play high on it and just drift round for the 8-ball. He's gone the other way, and this is perfect. A finish that required a reroute, but good enough to do that. High quality stuff from Gareth Potts. Opens up that 3-frame lead once again. 4-1 in front, 3 frames away from the next round. Taking every opportunity that comes his way, and this was a lovely positional shot. Drifting the full length of the table.
Yeah, and that's a sign that he's very comfortable with his equipment now.
Yeah.
You know, before he was kind of guessing. He'd just come from Chinese 8-ball where he's using a different cue. And also different size table, balls, cloth, everything's completely different.
Well, it's one of the things that's always fascinated me with your game is that you've chopped and changed throughout your whole career. You'll go for play this, and then next week you'll play a 9-ball tournament, and then you'll play some snooker. Whereas Gareth, when he moved away from this game, he dedicated himself to Chinese 8-ball. So it's going to take quite a bit of adjusting for him to get back into the sport, and it's taken him some time, but he's absolutely back to his best now.
Yeah, it looks as good as ever.
Eight ball.
Oh, the cue ball's knocked it away.
That's the closest we've seen to a golden break in the tournament so far, but the cue ball keeps it out. Have a watch of this again. Look at that cue ball. Oh, he was definitely dropping.
Oh, you can see on his face there. And look at, giving Jack the look.
Jack. That's a great reaction from Jack.
Just look at the layout of the table. The yellows are all there. And this is why we say the break is the most important shot of the game, because that 8-ball goes in, it's 5-1.
To be honest, even if any other ball goes in as well, it wasn't just the 8-ball not going in. He came up dry, giving Jack Whelan the opportunity. But the way these are laid out, you'd expect Gareth to go very close to clearing these up if he got a ball, and Jack wants to take them. And it's the difference between Jack sort of almost staying in the match, really. Those new to the ultimate pool, they're wondering what we're talking about, as Jack Whelan's positional shot just goes wrong.
I'm very, very surprised he played that shot.
Yeah, he's in a bit of trouble now.
Yeah, he had no reason to cannon the red ball. Both yellows went in the corner, and the yellow that he played to play the plant actually went past the 8-ball in the middle.
I just finished off what I was about to say, and that's if you're new to ultimate pool, and with this tournament, the 8-ball goes in off the break, it is a golden break and you win the frame. If you 8-ball goes in and you foul off the break, it's a golden duck and you lose the frame. Jack Whelan having to just turn the table over, finishing on nothing. That'll be very disappointing as well with the layout of the table there.
Yeah, and I'm not sure playing that shot he's played was the right shot, because Gareth can have a free shot at a red and leave the cue ball right there where he leaves no yellow.
Extension called.
think Jack could have come off the left-hand side cushion and maybe put the yellow in the right pocket, right centre pocket, but by no means easy.
Loss of turn.
And that's a poor shot there from Gareth. He was trying to get the cue ball further up the table. I think he was trying to be too accurate.
Yeah, just grazed the red on the way through, which he did not want. He's given Jack Whelan another opportunity. Oh dear.
Well, he cued right across that.
Yeah, great camera angle to see that. Big surprise to see Jack Whelan miss that ball. Hands an opportunity now to Gareth Potts.
Well, what has Gareth done there?
That's a big shot, first shot. He didn't need to play that. Other ways he could have gone that he didn't need to play a double.
Yeah, he had a lot of other options there, Simon, and for some reason decided to play the double. And Jack Whelan's got away with this one. You won't see that too often.
I have a feeling when we get to the end of the match, we could well be talking about this frame, especially if Jack Whelan comes back to win. Huge moment. Jack Whelan making two pretty big mistakes in the frame, but still manages to get the frame on the board. Still trails by 2 frames, 4-2 behind, but he'll be very relieved to get that frame on the board, that's for sure.
Sometimes when you're playing these matches, though, Simon, you need to miss a ball, an easy ball sometimes, to get your concentration levels higher.
It almost gives you a little bit of a kick. As we just take another look at that first positional error from Jack Whelan, and then the one he missed down to the bottom right corner. And then look at this layout here. He doesn't have to play the double. There's room to get onto that ball. Okay, it doesn't go to its obvious pockets, but Gareth's so good with his cue ball control, you'd fancy him to get onto that in another way. But then if he makes the double, we're saying good choice, gets his hardest ball out the way. So it's how you see it sometimes.
Frame 7.
Yeah, he's such a great cueist, is Gareth. I mean, you'd back him all day long to pot a ball. That's a better break there from Jack.
Finally, Jack Whelan's break turns up. Although it's not brilliant for him with the way the red and yellow just at the last minute come together in the top right-hand corner. Looked like it was going to be a really nice wide open finish for him. Now he's got work.
Yeah, and the problem is if he takes reds, where does the one at the top right-hand side of the table go? If he takes yellows, where does the 8-ball go?
Extension call.
It looks like he's eyeing up the reds and looking to see what angle he can leave to go into his bad ball. The way the red and yellow are together at the top right, this isn't guaranteed to come out even if he gets the contact on it.
Yeah, and I don't think he's left a perfect angle. He needs a little bit of luck here. He's got to land on this red that he's knocking out.
Lovely shot.
Yeah, and he had to land on it because he had no other shot if he didn't land on it. Still not a guaranteed finish.
Yeah, it sounds strange to say, but it's not easy to get onto his next ball. Even though he's got one over the pocket.
And what he doesn't want to do is hit one of the yellows half ball and slide down and going off in the middle. Got to find the gap here. Nicely played.
It wasn't a million miles away from the centre. I controlled that one nicely. That should be the hard work in this frame done. Finishing touches required.
be a big turning point from when Gareth missed the double to go 5-1 in front.
I think we were all expecting, once Jack had missed the pot down to the bottom right, we were expecting Gareth just to go 5-1. He wasn't expecting any drama from there. And all of a sudden, he's going to be looking over his shoulder at 4-3. Jack Whelan makes sure that he is looking over his shoulder at 4-3. Excellent break and clearance from Jack Whelan, his best break in the match, but all hinged on this breakout shot. Also the shot that followed it needed to be precise.
Yeah, that were a lot more difficult than what he made it look.
Yeah, any thicker contact there and he's absolutely on nothing. So had to be very precise with that one. No doubt that Jack Whelan will be the more relieved of the two players, or the happier of the two players. He was, as we've said, staring 5-1 in the face, and all of a sudden it's 4-3. Gareth Potts has got work to do into the second half of the match now with the match clock.
Leading 4 frames to 3.
Race to 7, so Gareth 3 frames away.
And just look how the tide has changed.
Once again, dry from Gareth Potts. So Jack Whelan with an opportunity now to tie things up. And it's a pretty decent one. A couple of shots required.
Extension called.
Well, he'd love to take yellows, but he can't pot one. So forced into taking reds.
Red ball's in play.
All the reds lined up on the right-hand side cushion. Makes it a little bit tricky.
Yeah, he'd love to be able to just flick the middle one of the 3 reds on the right-hand cushion.
It's a sort of finish for me that if you're very precise and controlled through this finish, Jack can make it look a lot easier than it is, but it doesn't take much for this to go wrong.
Yeah, and I think he's landed a little bit straight on this red. Well, he's going to play the double. Needs to play it slowly and flick the red out.
Lovely shot.
Perfect.
Got both sides of that shot really nicely. And he even left himself a lovely little angle to get the cue ball out from the cushion, although I thought he might go a bit further than that.
Yeah, I'm very surprised it didn't push the cue ball to the top cushion. That would have been natural angle to come back for the red. Got to be careful.
Well played. Another reverse clearance, and Jack Whelan ties the score up. Scores up. Was 4-0 down. Looked like he was going 5-1, but it is 4-4, and it will be Jack Whelan to break next. This match really has turned on that missed double from Gareth Potts. Both players 3 frames away from the next round. We're approaching the 15 seconds shot portion of the match as well for the final 10 minutes. which can also bring in plenty of drama. Gareth just staring into space, trying to stay in the zone.
Frame 9. Jack Whelan to break. 4 frames all.
Yeah, and there wasn't racked correctly there. Did you notice it didn't break?
Didn't open at all. Let's have a look at this on replay. Just missed the contact, but yeah, not the break he was looking for. This is now a big frame, really. It's a messy little table.
Extension call.
I think he's going to take red, sir.
It looks like there's a chance on reds, certainly not one on yellows. Not an easy one anyway.
Red ball's in play.
Actually, it looks more congested than it is. It is. All the reds actually have pockets. It's just been able to connect them up.
Yeah, he's just worried about the 8 ball. That's the one that's going to cause him the most problems. He's going to pot this red and come down the right hand side of the table, giving himself the option of 3 possible reds.
It's on the red at the bottom. Looks like he's got just enough angle to get out. It's difficult to tell. Might be a little bit straight. He was a little bit too straight, so decides to just nudge his ball over and weld the cue ball to the yellow. You don't always have to go gung-ho and go for those finishes. You have to try and find that balance between wanting your opponent to come back to the table and taking him out yourself.
Yeah, he's played a clever little shot there as Jack.
Extension call.
Gareth's in all kind of trouble here.
Not a lot you can do when you're welded to your only ball you can see.
Well, that's a decent shot there from Gareth. He's tied one of the reds up, but problem being now, he's left a perfect angle on the red to break it back out.
Sometimes all you can do is give your opponent as much work as possible. No, Jack Whelan not interested, continuing to wait.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that shot, to be honest. I think Gareth can double the yellow up and down, pot his red, and then Jack's got to go for it, basically. Oh, he didn't want that.
Well, he was trying to play the shot that you called, but double kiss has ruined that, and this will be a chance for Jack Whelan. He still does need to play that cannon to open up that bad red that Gareth put safe a couple of shots ago.
We may see Jack plant the red onto the red, then play the double on the other red and screw into his ball that's tied up.
Lovely shot from Jack Whelan, opens up his bad ball whilst making the double.
Not only that, Simon, he's got the option now to cut either red in either corner and cannon into the yellows to open the 8-ball. He doesn't have to go into them, but for me it's a free shot.
Just heard that beep in the background. That means we're going to the 15 seconds a shot part of the match.
15-second shot clock in play.
He's decided not to move the yellows, and therefore the 8-ball. I think he's just thinking about leaving it where it is and backing himself to land on it to top corner. No, he's moving it now.
Yeah, and I didn't like him playing it that way because he had to land on that red after planting it, and it wasn't a gimme to land on it. Now he's going to have to cut the red in and come back across to where he's standing there to leave the 8-ball into the centre pocket. That's perfect.
No mistakes with the 8-ball. Jack Whelan gets himself in front for the first time. 5-4 ahead, 2 frames away from the next round. What a turnaround we've seen here. And it all hinged on that one shot from Gareth Potts. It's been completely turned around from there. Key shot in the frame for Jack Whelan was that double. Followed up with this breakout shot for the 8-ball.
Yeah, we said earlier in the match that that double that Gareth went for could come back to haunt him. And at this moment in time, that's exactly what's happening.
So he missed that double at 3-1 in front. Sorry, 4-1 in front, wasn't it?
Gareth Potts break.
It's all gone against him
5 frames
since.
to 4.
Very important he finds a ball now to keep himself in the match. And he's dry once again. His break has absolutely deserted him. He's hitting the break well, just can't find a ball.
Extension called.
Yeah, and a lot of the players on the circuit talk about the pool gods.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what you're seeing. The game has turned on its head.
Jack Whelan likes the look of reds. And laid out really nicely for him. Every red's got a pocket, everything in the open. Just about keeping control of that cue ball and finding the route.
Well, I'm very surprised he's played that. That would have been my second to last red, to get on the red that's next to it, and then the 8-ball into the opposite centre. He's going to play some good shots.
So finishing just out on the previous shot. Now things are starting to get a little bit trickier. Not nicely on the next ball. Tricky cut back. Just squeezes by the red. Now he's back into control and in better position. He wouldn't have wanted to leave the red on the right hand side below the centre pocket and the red on the left hand side below the centre pocket as his last 2 balls.
Yeah, and that's why I said leave the red that he potted earlier on where it was, because after potting this red it was basic stun shot. Now he's got to play a real nice shot to get on his last red.
Which he has done nicely enough. Doesn't have to do a huge amount with the cue ball on this one, just drop it in.
well.
Flicks the near jaw and still drops in.
Yeah, and that was the same pocket that he missed that red in.
Yeah.
That one was a little closer.
No mistakes with the 8-ball, so Jack Whelan 1 frame away with another reverse clearance off another dry break from Gareth Potts, and this match has really turned on its head. Gareth Potts may well have played his last shot in this tournament. Jack Whelan will break off for the match.
Yeah, and it's been a brilliant standard, Simon. Both players played brilliantly.
All the mistakes happened in 1 frame.
Yeah, some dry breaks, some great breaks.
Yeah, the mistakes from both players were all in the same frame. Pretty much everything else has been very clean and clinical from both players.
Frame 11. Jack Whelan.
Here we go, Jack Whelan breaking off
Leading 6 frames
for the
to 4.
match. And he makes the ball, makes a couple, so he's going to get the chance.
What a break that is. Is there any balls left on the table?
Yeah, they're flying in. A couple of balls come together just at the end there, top left-hand side of the table.
Extension call.
Yeah, he's got to go yellows. He's just going to stun this cue ball up about 5 or 6 inches, and that's
Yellow
perfect.
ball's in play.
Pop the yellow in the top right-hand corner, stun over and try and bring the yellow that's tied up. Well, he's deciding to go a different way.
I think he's going to try and go into his bad ball now.
Doesn't want to go into him too hard though. Could do with just hitting the cushion first before the red.
Lovely. Really nicely played. That's not the shot he wanted to play. Just when he saw the finishing line, gets the positional side of that shot all wrong.
Yeah, I'm very surprised he cannoned into the yellow. Oh, what a shot.
Recovers with a great double to the corner, so this 8-ball for the match. And no mistakes, Jack Whelan books his place in the next round with a brilliant turnaround performance. 3-0 down, comes back to win it by 7 frames to 4, and he marches on to the next round, where he will play the winner of Scott Gillespie and Hitan Patel. That was an incredible match from 2 great players, high quality, both players making lots of brilliant finishes, all seemed to hinge on 1 frame in the middle. Both players made a couple of mistakes, but it is Jack Whelan, the wonder, that gets over the line.